Hey YouTube, it's Matt with Olympus Reptiles, and today is a really exciting day because for us, on this date that we're filming, which isn't the same day you see it, but not too far in advance, we have our first clutch of the year. We've been expecting this. I know a lot of people already had clutches drop. We're finally getting to the party, and I expect to have several within probably the next 10 to 15 days. Like we'll kind of start really getting rolling. So we thought we'd do an egg pulling video and show you how we set them up. First, a little bit of information about the clutch. This will be a normal, we call it the not het pied. It was supposed to be het pied, but it's proven to not be a het pied. Bred to our Suma male. That pairing was picked by our Patreon followers. So all of the, well, we usually say on their clutches, every morph will be a special for them. They were smart when they voted, and they elected a super, so everything's going to be a morph. So hey man, if you're on Patreon, this, unless it's retained sperm, should be a big old clutch of mahoganies. It's just for you all. So if you're not, that's the way to get into the mahogany game. Pretty reasonable because this will cover a lot of the specials for them. Anyway, on to some of the equipment we have. What we have here to pull these eggs, we have our egg tub ready to go. It's been preheated. It's been cooking in our incubator. You can see how much moisture is in there, but you can also see when I press on the grate, I'm not getting into the moisture. So we should be able to maintain a very high humidity in there without our eggs getting actual water on them. Before we do any work, a little squirt of the disinfectant, because this is not for COVID. This is simply because I want to make sure and maintain the quality of the eggs. We have some Q-tips, you're going to see why in a few seconds, and a flashlight so we can candle these things. I just touched my face. Shouldn't do that. Bad boy. Now, we're ready to go. So let's go ahead and get our eggs pulled. And what we'll do is I'm just going to set the female in a different tub temporarily, just while I get her reset. So the first thing is going to be to try to get her off of this without getting bit. And I'll try to bring her over here so you guys can kind of see how this works. So you got a couple different things. She can be a female that will be a little bit, can be a little aggressive protecting her eggs. So, you know, be prepared to use some of your tools that you have somewhere here. I just saw it. I have a small hook. We may need to get that. We'll see. Again, it's not so much. Is that up there by the... Yeah. It's more so we don't take a chance at her losing teeth. We want to make this as low stress for her as we can. You gonna cooperate? Hey, you are. Now I can already see this is gonna be a mixed bag clutch to start the year. You'll see what I mean. So there, she looks pretty empty. We're gonna just set her aside because she's gonna need a whole new tank. Now, looking at this, what I mean by a mixed bag clutch is, and again, this is a a brand new male. See these little eggs like this? Those are all going to be slugs. They're not going to be anything for us. What that really means is it's an infertile egg. It is probably typically the fault of the male. I imagine these 3 eggs are fertile. We are going to check. We're going to check them all. I'll show you what these slugs look like, but I can tell you just from looking, the color's off, the size is off, they're going to be infertile. So what that tells me is this female, and I know this female, she's produced a lot of solid clutch without slugs. I do believe slugs typically come from the male. We got 3 good eggs, most likely, plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 slugs. That right there is probably, I bet in all of our breeding last year, we only produced maybe 12 slugs. I'd have to look at the numbers. But we didn't have a lot of slugs. We usually don't. So that is slightly concerning because, again, it's a new male. But it could just be that this was his first female. I never even really saw them lock, so I was kind of surprised. I do think it could possibly be retained sperm. We'll see. So all those things could play a factor into what we've got going on. Okay. Next thing we do is, I don't have a black one with me. Usually I do. We take just a Sharpie. We just write on these. In this case, it's going to be number 1, number 1, number 1. What that's doing is telling me the orientation of the eggs. I will try to keep them in that fashion. Some people say it doesn't matter. Some people say it matters greatly. Some people say it matters after a certain amount of time. I'm going to err on the side of caution. I'm going to keep those oriented proper. I'm not going to roll them around for an experiment. Why try to fix what ain't broken, right? So now we're going to turn off the lights, and we're going to check these eggs and see how they come out. Whee! Here's a transition for you. Woo! That's a super transition. So let's look. We'll start first with what I know. Let the camera catch up. See how that turns into a yellow ball? There's nothing in there. There's no vein work. That's a bad egg. Same here, same here, same there, same there, same there. Now let's look at a good egg. Now this is kind of hard to see, but if you look down there at the bottom, you'll see that there is vein work. That's a good egg. This one's really easy to see. You can see it all right there. That's a good egg. That one is a really good egg. So they're very strong. The eggs that are good, I feel really good about. These little guys here, that one, you know, there's just nothing there. Never got fertilized. We'll kick some lights back on. We'll put these in the thing, and we'll go from there. You need another transition? Woo! Woo! We're back. So it's really simple. Again, we're going to follow the orientation. So we're going to take this egg here. I'm going to set it there. Those two are stuck to some other things, so I'm not going to worry about them just yet. And we're going to use these to just brace that egg. This is just to keep it in place, just in case it jostles around while I'm moving it. We're going to try to get these guys picked up, pull that off. Slugs usually don't adhere very well. That's the good news. And then we're going to try to get that. That's about how I want them. And again, it's because I made my marks straight up. I'm going to show you a few other things to help you have some success in your egg tubs. Pop that bag out, it won't hurt anything. Of course, what do I know? You know, our last year sucked. But typically our years don't suck. So I do think I have a pretty good idea of what I'm doing. I guess we'll know this year, huh? So when we count this clutch for our records, I do tell you guys I keep records. So you're probably saying, well, how do you count that? What I will mark down in this clutch is 3 good eggs and 6 slugs. You can do whatever you want with these. I mean, you can juggle with them if you want, if you're so inclined. I'm not. Take them, egg your teacher's house. Don't do that. Actually, I don't care if you do it. I'm not in school anymore. Don't egg the teacher I'm married to's house. That'll piss me off. But whatever you want to do, they're literally just, I mean, they're not good. You're not going to hurt them. They're never going to hatch. We looked at them. Look at the difference in size comparison. There you can see the color I'm talking about. The shell doesn't form or calcify. They're just junk. So this tub is ready to go. A few things we use to brace them up and to keep that. So this number is not just a hash mark. We number clutches, clutch 1, clutch 2, clutch 3, but it does, you know, help mark exactly how I want those to set. And then we just brace them and go. I will probably transition these eggs eventually out of this tub. Again, knowing this female, we prepped this tub expecting, I don't know, somewhere in the realm of 7 to 9 eggs. Well, dropping slugs. We would have got it, right? If we would have had all of them fertile, which if I look through her history, I'm going to tell you, I don't think this snake has laid more than a couple slugs in her life. Obviously, we didn't get as many as we wanted, so we'll transition these down to a smaller tub to take up less space in the incubator. Won't hurt them a bit. Now, a couple things. You want your lid to be dry, and it should snap on there with you having room where it's not touching the eggs. Some people are going to tell you you have to use press and seal. Guys, you don't. I've never used press and seal other than the year with the moo, which caused us all kinds of issues that we couldn't really anticipate. Our incubators here now, we hatched well over 90% every year, usually a little bit over 95. And in our very early years, we didn't have as many, we were hatching 100. Okay, like you don't have to do the press and seal. Now, if you do it and it works for you, hey, it ain't gonna hurt shit. Do it, okay? I'm not telling you don't, but I'm telling you if somebody says you have to, you in fact do not have to. This isn't airtight, but one of the tricks is we put a lot of water chamber in our incubators to keep our overall humidity up. And then you can see again just how much moisture is in there. You know, like if I push on it, you can see. So there's a lot of water. Our humidity is going to stay where we want it. We don't want it to be too tight. We don't want a lot of condensation. This will help prevent that along with the water chamber. So I'm going to take these back and I'm going to throw them in the incubator to cook. Kurt, you got any questions before I do?
No.
Want to have an egg fight?
No.
Oh, man. All right, guys. We'll see you next time.